to have habits and not change them. It is a way that we found of substituting for inability to plan and follow plans, right?
Yeah.
And it helps us avoid the costly process
Oh,
of thinking things through every time.
they don't follow plans. They make a plan and then they use global configurational reasoning in real time. The plan is just the setup to be able to go into the
Ah,
environment and use that. So its plan isn't even what we thought it was. It's not even what they say it is. It's a setup. It's a way that they do advanced uh, uh, what's the word?
oh,
Preparation to do their global configurational skill.
right. So like the plan is a function that they apply to their global configurational maps,
Before they do it in
right?
real time. Yes.
And as they do it in real time,
And as exactly. And the fact that
right?
they have this mental representation that they're engaging in, probably in, I would assume, a global configurational way or something. I don't know what they're doing. That would explain even some of the stuff in DBT. So a lot of the times, the examples that were given of like when somebody was essentially doing mind reading or jumping to conclusions. I forgot what other metaphors there were. Jumping to conclusions isn't that funny? That's definitely a movement one. But yeah, so if you're interpreting something and you're filling in the blanks, right? Reading between the lines, which they say we can't do. The person
Yeah.
was always an example as like somebody close to you who would then be doing something to diminish your relationship or your importance. And now I'm just going to start calling that the x-axis and the y-axis, so we know we're talking about global configurational. X is relationship proximity, y is hierarchy, right? And these are constantly moving with multiple people with a typical brain. So what's
Mhm.
happening is they would have conflicts around that, right? Like around that information. And then for us, we can never even begin to see that information. And it makes me think that planning is in fact a function of doing X, Y, uh, uh, modeling. Like they're not only, they also can model the way that we are talking about, where you make a model of the world, but additionally they can model themselves doing the XY global configurational. And
Mhm.
that's part of it, because sometimes they can get distracted and believe that the XY counterfactual that they're experiencing is reality. And that's why I feel so disassociated, or I guess disconnected from somebody explaining how, oh, I was upset at my friend. I was like, but why? Like, I was like, that's such a strange thing to me, that you would get upset at something you imagine that your friend did. And then to get them out of it, they think about the probability of that being true or not, essentially. And I don't,
Mhm.
I have notes, and I took some screenshots because I had to jump out early. This is why I need to ask things go back more. But they had their way of working through it. I also take issue with, because it's basically talking about opposites, and it's associating feelings and
Mhm.
behavior incorrectly, and in a way that
Mhm.
ultimately ends up being misogynistic. But anywho, so
Mhm.
the whole idea behind it was that you need to be able to deal with your incorrect thoughts and check them against the facts. I'm like, no, you have a set of facts that you think are most probably the universe that you're in. You now need to ask,
Mhm.
how probable is it that you are able to determine that? Like, how much confidence do you get to have in your own confidence?
Right. Confidence.
Yes.
That's a
Com-
term I've been trying to think of lately.
yeah, the
Because,
in stats. Yep.
generally speaking, it's really annoying that English doesn't have an additional type of grammar that's attached to every language that applies confidence level to the statements that you're making.
Yes.
Because it would be much better if that existed.
I agree. We should just start saying it on purpose, because it's not used by anything else. People who are familiar
Mhm.
with statistical analysis should be fine with it. And if they're not, we can encourage people that this isn't actually a hard concept to get into. It's like you've been using it.
Mhm.
You just didn't know that you were using it.
Mhm.
Like trust is confidence level.
Right. And we are always, when we're thinking things through, we are internally applying confidence levels to things constantly,
Yes.
because the whole thing our brain is doing is predictions, right?
Right.
But we don't have a practice of, in our, you know, attention awareness centered part of mind, to center the concept of confidence levels.
And we're not teaching people to do abstraction very succinctly or efficiently. They will learn it, but they won't be in this targeted way that the person realizes that's what they're working on and then can improve. If you don't know what you're working on,
Right.
it's going to be really hard to get
There's
better
so
at
many
it.
things that we pick up, but we don't, right, we don't categorize it, we don't label it, we don't know that this is the skill that you have and are using
Right.
all the time.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Okay, so yeah, so the let me look at my messy notes, and then that'll give us a theme for the day. So one thing that was I'm gonna can I just dump them out, and then we'll kind of pick and choose. So maybe other people, if you wanted to take notes and say what you want to jump on, but so
have you finished everything you were trying to do before you got stream started?
No, not really. I don't know
Have you
why
intentionally